to Myanmar now, where Rohingya Muslims continue to flee their desperate situation. They're escaping violence in Rakhine State, pouring into neighboring Bangladesh, and now aid agencies are asking for reinforcements. The International Federation of the Red Cross is making an emergency appeal for more than $3 million for the border district of Cox's Bazar to ensure new arrivals receive food, shelter, and clean water. Local volunteers will also be trained to give psychological support. Now, for many Rohingya refugees who have fled Rakhine State, they say that they have escaped a fate worse than death. They've detailed allegations of indiscriminate killings, gang rapes, and violence to the UN Special Rapporteur to Myanmar. Yanghee Lee visited a camp in Bangladesh recently, meeting with dozens of Rohingya who'd made it across the border. And I spoke with her earlier, asking her to describe some of the harrowing accounts of alleged brutality.
I have spoken to more than 140 individuals. One of the stories that really haunts me is a story of a mother who, and I have pictures of the son, who she thought everybody escaped from the burning house. When she started to hear crying and screaming, and she went back and she found the boy in flames. And it really is in my mind, and I can't get that little boy's burnt body off my mind. And what really struck me was when old men started to break down in tears in front of me and sob. And this is, you know, the men have great pride, and they do not show tears in front of women. In front of a foreign woman, for that matter. And they were breaking down and crying and seeing and telling me that they've seen their whole family killed in front of their eyes, and there is really no hope for them.
You write that you heard allegation after allegation of horrific events like the slitting of throats, indiscriminate shootings, setting alight houses with people tied up inside, throwing very young children into the fire. It goes on and on, harrowing account after harrowing account. Why is this happening? Is this a government purge? Is the government of Myanmar trying to expel ethnic Rohingya from the country?
We have to remember that prior to October 9th incident, there was systematic discrimination against the Rohingyas by policy, law, and practice. And this has led up to 2012 violence and 2014 violence. And now this incident sparked something called a clearance operation, which led to a complete lockdown for 4 months, whereby these incidents, these allegations took place.
You describe a clearance operation underway targeting Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar. Does this amount to genocide?
I wouldn't use that word right now, but it does, from what the allegations I've heard and from where I saw it, it could amount to crimes against humanity.
How much support is there for a commission of inquiry? This is the highest level UN probe into the abuses facing Rohingya Muslims and their treatment in Myanmar.
Well, I have called for a COI, but the international community really did not have the appetite for a COI. So the resolution is stating a different language, and we have to see what the resolution or the consensus is formed around this new resolution.
There's still no appetite for a commission of inquiry. So for those countries that say Myanmar is not ready yet, Aung San Suu Kyi is not ready yet, it's still a very fragile democracy, it doesn't need to be hurt by some sort of a damning UN report. How do you respond to that?
I think when there's 77,000 people running away from their hometown, leaving everything, and when the estimated figure is about 1,000 dead during this 4 months lockdown, I think that's a little too many numbers that the international community should really step up to the plate and do what they're trying to say to promote and uphold human rights, and not just in words, but really walk the talk.
And your thoughts about the leadership of Aung San Suu Kyi? She's been under fire for not doing enough on the Rohingya issue. What can she do, and what should she do?
Well, I think that she should and could speak up a little bit more, at least to address the human rights violations that are occurring not only in Rakhine and the Rohingyas. There are a lot of human rights violations and abuses occurring currently in northern Kachin and northern Shan. But I'm afraid the military still has a stronger hold on Myanmar, and we have to remember that the military is in control of 25% of the parliament, of the Ministry of Home Affairs, the border guard, and the defense.
And that was the UN Special Rapporteur to Myanmar, Yanghee Lee, speaking with me earlier. Now, CNN has reached out to Myanmar's government for a response, but is yet to hear back. In the past, it has denied systemic violence, but describes military clearance operations to find militants involved in a deadly attack on border guards last October.